Hello, Lindsay Welton here, professional team builder, experiential educator. I'm a training and development expert, and I get a lot of questions about how to de-escalate situations when people are getting very elevated, when agitation levels are rising, when anger is rising. How do we bring this back to a place where we can calmly problem solve, continue speaking respectfully? How can we avoid violence? So taking a look at how do we keep things calm? How do we de-escalate? There's a lot we can talk about in that umbrella, but rule number one, if you know rule number one, it will go so incredibly far to achieving great things for you. It's simple and straightforward, and it's this: always leave the paths to the exits clear. The moment that somebody is starting to feel any level of agitation and about absolutely anything, maybe a political discussion is starting to get heated, maybe somebody's being challenged on something, you think I'm a liar, and all these emotions starting to rise, whatever the topic, the second that somebody feels agitation and then feels like they can't leave the space if they needed to. Lots of times people need to escape simply to clear their heads. There's a fight or flight reflex that kicks in when people are feeling stressed. It is a natural human stress response. It's really important to respect it. So when flight kicks in, I need to leave this space just for fresh air to clear my head to think. If there is somebody blocking the path, then the sensation instead is that I am cornered. I cannot escape. And that sensation of feeling trapped then pushes stress levels even higher. So fight or flight or freeze or faint. There's a few different stress responses that don't get talked about. Those stress responses are elevating. This is decreasing our ability to problem solve well together. And the person who's blocking the pathway often doesn't even realize that they're doing it. There's no intention to make somebody feel cornered or trapped. It's simply a lack of awareness of space and lack of awareness of the human dynamic that stress response often equals I need to get out of here. Where are the paths out? And is it free of blockages, humans or furniture? So the furniture is one thing. And you do need to take that into consideration for fire. Anyways, hopefully you have clear paths to all of your exits. But then just if you're the person who's experiencing conflict, look, if the person that I'm speaking to is experiencing stress, picture where do they have to go to get to the door? And if you are in any way in between, then move. And it's as simple as taking, 3 steps to the left, 3 steps to the right, or if you do have maybe tables and chairs, so it's almost like this little maze, and at some point you're blocking part of that, then you get out of there so the person can weave their way out of the room and go. So if you're blocking the exit, stress goes up, problem solving ability goes down. As soon as we clear the paths to the exit, stress goes down, ability to problem solve improves dramatically. Last thing to keep in mind is just that incidents that I've been made aware of when people have discussed violence did happen. So there was an altercation of some kind, and they're exploring how do we make sure that that doesn't happen again. And they have a healing process that they need to go through. It's scary, it's traumatizing. Taking a look at the story and how it happened, almost every single time, if you take a look at how it started, there was the conversation that started it, and then we look at the path. Where did that person need to go to be able to leave the room? And the majority of the time, they had to go through the person to exit. There was never an intention to actually harm the person, but in that stress state, they were just so focused on getting out the door, they would go through anyone or anything they needed to in order to get there. And if it was a person, then unfortunately a physical altercation ensued. So just absolutely, if you're trying to process an event that happened, how did it get to that? Take a moment to sort of piece together all the people that were involved, where the exits were. Does somebody have to go through somebody to get out? And you might be thinking they didn't have to. When we're stressed, we're not thinking clearly. So it's so important to know that. Rule number one, keep the paths to the exits open. Do you have any other questions about how to do this, how to do that? I would love to hear them. Share them in the comments, and I'll be happy to make more videos responding to them. If you found this helpful, if you found it helpful, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notifications bell so that you know when I post more helpful videos. And I hope you have a fabulous day. All the best.